welcome everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our phone for a minute, couldn't remember the date, regular meeting on Thursday, January 25th at 4 p.m. I have the flag salute tonight. Please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate and electronic notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the Beach Haven Municipal Building, on the Borough website, and mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times, Asbury Park Press, and the Press of Atlantic City. Mrs. Baumiller?
Here.
Mrs. Lambert?
Here.
Mr. McCaffrey?
Here.
Ms. Snyder?
Here.
And Mayor Davis.
Everyone had time to look at the minutes, read all the minutes from November 30th, December 11th, and December 11th executive session. So let's call for a motion.
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Mrs. Baumiller?
Yes.
Miss Lambert?
Yes.
Mr. McCaffrey?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
And we have an ordinance up for second reading tonight. Ordinance amending Chapter 24, Construction Codes Uniform in the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey. The purpose is to update fees for lead-based paint inspections in certain residential rental dwellings to conform with state law PL 2021, Chapter 182, and to update subcode fees. This is ordinance number 2024-1C.
Thank you, Mary Claire. This is a second reading, so the floor is open to the public. Would anyone on Zoom like to comment on this? Is there anyone on Zoom?
We do have some on Zoom and nobody's hands are up.
Anyone in the audience? No? Anybody on council?
No.
No.
Okay, and I'll actually make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-1C.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mrs. Baumiller?
Yes.
Ms. Lambert?
Yes.
Mr. McCaffrey?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
All right, we have some resolutions within a consent agenda tonight. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine by the municipal council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items requiring expenditures are supported by a certification of availability of funds, and any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Resolution number 27-2024, authorizing the execution of a shared service agreement with Ocean County for Schedule C. Resolution 39-2024, approving change order 1, final dated December 7th, 2023, for the 2023 water main replacement project with Pennsylvania Avenue, Delaware Avenue, and 10th Street. We have resolution 40-2024, authorizing the execution of a shared service agreement for participation in the Ocean County Prosecutors Program, FAST, which stands for Fatal Accident Support Team. Resolution 41-2024, authorizing the execution of a shared service agreement with Long Beach Township for dispatching services. Resolution 42-2024, approving and authorizing the execution of a settlement and release with MIH Coastal Holdings. And execution and a resolution that was just added this afternoon, 44-2024, authorizing contract with Lester Glenn for the purchase of a pickup for the sewer utility department.
Does anyone on council want to remove any of these resolutions for further consideration?
No.
No? Then do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mrs. Baumiller?
Yes.
Ms. Lambert?
Yes.
Mr. McCaffrey?
Yes.
And Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Okay, on to the bills. Sure everyone had a chance to look at the bills. Does anyone have anything they'd like to remark on?
Now it's a long list this time around,
Yeah.
but a lot of things happened to fall in January,
Yeah.
but there was nothing that was questionable in my mind.
Agree. Do I have a motion to approve paying the bills?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Bellmiller.
Yes.
Miss Lambert.
Yes,
Mr. McCaffrey.
Yes.
And Miss Snyder.
Yes. Right, general discussion. Tonight on general discussion, we have two items. One, the recreation grants, the recreation grants that were awarded, and I'm sure Jamie could speak to this more, that the 63,000 was awarded for basketball, specifically in basketball, and 70,000 for the skate park. And to the best of my knowledge, the reason that this is on the agenda is because if we don't use the full amount, including the 70,000 for the skate park, by December 31st, it was extended, I believe, we will lose it. And it would have to be, if the skate park came up again, it would have to be approved, built, and finished by December 31st. Do you understand it to be that way as well?
No, I don't think it doesn't have to be finished when a
That's what
grant,
Sherry told me.
when a grant is given, it's usually paid for and then reimbursed. So it would be paid for in advance and then it would be reimbursed, but she hasn't mentioned anything as far as a
Well,
date yet.
the-
She might have, did she to you?
She did tell me that it had to be complete by then, at least. So she's not here tonight, so I can't ask her about that.
She
now.
told me the same thing. She
Yeah.
said, this grant money needs to be bid out, contract signed, and the whole thing completed by 2020, by the end of 2024.
Yeah.
That's what she told me today.
Construction or bid
Construction and
contract?
everything, the whole thing completed. That's what she told me
That
exactly.
also, I think we were concerned that, we weren't sure because when we first applied, you applied and it was park specific for example, the basketball. But when Sherry spoke to them, they said, you can just spend it. We want you to spend it on recreation and you can spend all of it if, better to spend it than to lose it. So, I hate to lose it, so I'd like to, and you have, if you do bring the skate park up again, you do have money appropriated. I don't know how you feel about this, but I would like to see us agree that we're not voting on it. It's just up for discussion, but I'd like to see it be utilized towards recreation, to the parks in some way, recreation in general, and specifically right now, the basketball is, it's so hard to get anything, prices for everything. It's just amazing how hard it is to get prices on things and to get it all. But Frank is working on it, our engineer, and
Well, the
this money
basketball,
could go.
in the capital, we allocated 150,000
Yeah.
for basketball, so that should be fine.
I know, but we could use it for something else and then use this for that. I mean, it's just a shame to lose it. So I don't want to lose $70,000.
Well, my position hasn't changed on the skate park. I still want that money allocated towards the skate park, and I
I don't think it can be unless it's approved and
Well,
in
yeah,
the
but you
works
guys,
and
that's, I'm the only one that was, Mike wasn't here, but I was the only one in favor of moving forward with that skate park. So unless that has changed, unless you have changed your mind, then I don't know what is there to, I don't have a different location. No one has recommended to me a different location, so I'm still would like to see the location to stay at Taylor Park.
Well, I haven't changed my mind. I don't think that's the right thing. I haven't, sorry.
I haven't changed my mind in terms of hearing what the people wanted. And that's what, because like I said, last year it was like 50-50. And then it went way up to like 50 against, only 30% for. That's my concern. I'm not slamming the door on it. I just think that right now when the Majority don't want. That's my concern.
What majority are you talking about?
When with this survey, when they,
So this survey, that's what you're
Well,
banking your decision on that survey.
that's a large part of it, truthfully, but also on what people, the concerns they've made, and we've gone over this 1,000 times, and I'm not saying that they were necessarily right with their fears and their concerns, but they're voicing them. And I guess I have very mixed feelings, but right now, it seems like it's going the other way, then I have a hard time backing it at this point, but I'm not slamming the door, is what I'm saying.
I'm not against the skate park, but if we're gonna lose $70,000, I would sit there, I would, maybe we can make it up someplace else, but as far as losing the $70,000, I can't go with that, Could we put it towards one thing and then,
I don't think, I was under the impression that when the grant was written, that it had to be specific, like when we
Well,
had to
she
put
said
in.
not anymore.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
my understanding was the same thing. That if we didn't use it and it wasn't completed by the end of the year,
Yeah, I didn't talk to Sher, I talked
Yeah.
to Frank and Allison, they wrote the grant, so that's who
So
I
this
was.
was recent, I think she called to see about, because with the basketball, it was park specific to Walsh, but it was a full court, and now it's a half court, and to see if we could split it with Nelson. I think that's how this went, and you'll have to speak to her yourself,
With Nelson,
because that little court we wanted to
Oh.
resurface that to see if we could use some of the money for that. And she said, again, I didn't speak to her directly that we could, and
Right,
in
so-
fact, that they want us to use the money, so.
is the bottom
think we
line is
should
you
talk
wanna
to
take the
Sherry.
skate park money that I got for the skate park and put it towards something else, that's the bottom line. Based on a
Pretty much.
survey that was, in my opinion,
If this
not
said
valid.
But if we can't-
$70,000 that was awarded to, anything, I would be in favor of not losing it and using it for the good of the town. It's not against the skate park. It's that the skate park doesn't seem to have a chance of coming to fruition by the deadline to lose this money. And that is something to me that would be unconscionable for the town. I don't think that would be the right decision. And I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. And if the skate park's resurrected and you get an approval, you've got an appropriation, and $70,000 is a nice chunk, but it's the tip of the iceberg. It's gonna cost, so it's not personal. It's just that it's money that I don't want to lose. I don't care if it goes to basketball. I don't want to lose it, but we have to use it towards a project that's happening. That's enough.
if it's $70,000 for the skate park and we're not going to be able to use it for the skate park, shouldn't we use it for something else instead of losing it? That's my big question.
I don't have any projects that were presented to me. So what projects would you be interested in using this for?
No, I know there's some coming in with the playgrounds, Jake's
Yeah,
playground and things like that.
we're gonna,
Well-
I'd like to see the bocce court move to Veterans Park. There are things we can use it for, and they could just,
The bocce court,
I mean, that's just a suggestion. We're gonna present.
anything for
suggestion.
like
It's not
kids
in
that
the
actually,
works.
any projects for any kids that actually live here on the island?
And you don't think basketball, you don't think our kids play basketball?
Yeah, they do at the
Well,
Beach Haven
basketball's
school.
in the works, so. There you go.
That's not what they asked for. But I'm not getting into this, so. I would not support anything for that money unless it was going for the skate park, it was originally written for, that the kids of this town asked for.
Okay, well, we're not voting on it. It's just up for general discussion, so. All right, the next general discussion point is a request to display cap banners, and Mary Claire has more information. Rob Meyer, so I'm gonna ask you to talk about that.
Sure, yeah. Rob reached out to see if they could put up a couple banners on the concession stand at Veterans Park. One on the side, that's a smaller one. What were the sizes for that? On either side of the concession stand, he didn't give me the exact sizes for that. That would list the season-long sponsors, and then one that would go in the front by the doors. That's 2 feet wide by 4 feet high And that would only go up from Monday to Wednesday every week. It would be changed out and they're going to be put on the weekly sponsors. And he just wanted to get permission from you guys. And I spoke with Chris. Chris is fine with it. He and Rob, if you guys say, okay, we'll talk and work out like the best way to hang it and the most responsible way to do it.
How big are the ones on the two sides?
Well, there's only gonna be one on one of those side walls and that he's not gonna make it that big because they have to pay for it, but it will just have the season long sponsors. And then the one in the front by like where you sell the stuff, just a shorter one.
I think it's a good idea. No problem with it at all.
Me neither. I mean, it's a nonprofit. They do so much for this town. And I don't think that's a big ask.
I
Mike,
don't have a problem with it.
yay. Okay, I'll let him know tomorrow.
At this time, we're going to open up the meeting to public comment. Does anyone in the audience have anything they'd like to say? Please come, when you come up, please state your name and address.
Kathy King, 326 Third Street. I wonder about, I must have missed it, but it seems to me there's a fence all the way around the ball field now. And I swear that wasn't there. I don't know how it magically appeared. And I know a lot of people play soccer there in the back, quite a bit. Is there anything we can do to make that better for them?
Thank you. Does anyone, I know that they redid the fence there. but
Yeah,
I
they
don't-
just replaced the fence that was already there.
But it's not connected. It was down the side.
It's just across Bay Ave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's all the way down Ocean Street.
But it's still open there. A little bit.
I see.
Yeah, like there's the opening.
But that,
Is
I
that
think-
the way, and that's the way it was?
I think they just replaced what was there. Took it down and replaced it.
That one is new.
It's new, shiny.
okay, that part, but how about?
Kathy, would you mind coming up to the microphone so that I can have it on the recording? Thank you.
So I see a fair amount of activity with the soccer, but it just seems like they just take care of themselves and is there anything we can do to support that? Anyway, that's just my thought.
Well, I like what you're saying and don't usually, it's not a back and forth, but since we're quiet tonight, I
it's-
don't mind speaking to it. I would love to see more soccer goings on in lacrosse and all kinds of activities in that park especially and all our parks. And I think, I mean, we do have soccer nets and if sometimes we find out there are holes and then Chris fixes them. And so we have some camps. I think we have a soccer camp. Yeah. So, you know, I agree. The more the better. And I think with the parks presentation at the next meeting, you'll see a lot of suggestions for more activities, sports activities, recreation for kids, and hopefully.
We still have the nets down in Nelson. We used to have nets in both locations. So I mean,
don't know if
they,
there's still
they
nets
do
on that.
encourage it. I mean, you know, when the nets get ripped or broken, I know Public Works tries to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
But really, there's surprising number of camps, lacrosse and soccer that go on in the summer down there. You know, the problem with Walsh is the surface itself isn't world class, but doesn't seem to hold back the soccer and lacrosse
there's
camps.
usually a
They're
lot-
there.
And older kids, men there too in the evenings sometimes. Anyone on Zoom?
Yes, we have Sherry Mason.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make one note while I'm on with you guys. The basketball project, we tried to kind of piece it out a little bit so we could do it within the grant budget. But because of the local public contracts law, we have to bid these basketball projects as one project. And the cost is going to be upwards of 150,000 for the whole thing. So I would like to see the two grants be combined into one to be able to get this basketball project complete.
Seems like a lot of money for two half
That's crazy,
courts.
I know.
Well,
No.
we've looked at this up and down, how we could do it. And when you have to bid it and you have prevailing wage and everything that goes with it, asphalt and the seal coat and the backboards and everything else, that is what we're looking at.
I believe you. It just seems crazy.
Are you,
So
are
it's-
you looking two full basketball courts or two half courts?
Half
It's
courts.
one half court and one that's 30 by 30. Which is not a half court,
Size.
Like one half court and then one. So they're not
smaller.
even, so you have one half court and then one kind of just like shooting area almost?
Yes,
It's the same size that it already is at Nelson. Pre-existing size.
So
So
you're not
it's-
even
it's-
getting basketball court for 150,000? Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
that's correct. So we're not wondering which project that we'd like to allocate it to. We'd like to allocate it to this project, this one, to get the basketball project done. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, Jen?
Jen Tomlinson, 306 South Bay Ave, Beach Haven. That's what I was wondering with the 150,000 allocated in the capital budget. Was it like, can that, if you took the 63,000, could that go back into the budget instead of, like, does it have to go to an additional, can't that then come off of that 150 to go back into the budget? Like, it's a lot of additional money that, all of these things. It's making me wonder because like our lacrosse nets, like they were great last year. They were set up, but now that it's winter and I don't know if there's not room for storage, but they've been blown across the park. One's up against the tennis nets, one's up by the new, like, they're out in the nets, they're out in the snow, upside down, blown all over. So I don't know if we can take care of what we have, like before, like spending a lot more money, but then if we don't have the resources to take care of what we currently have.
Thank you.
Jen, that's a very valid point. And I just know from
Yeah.
prior experience with different things, when you take stuff down, then everybody comes in and says, but we wanted to play, and we're like, oh, well, they're in storage now. Tough. You can't play until we bring them out in April or whatever. It's tough to figure out what stays up, what stays down. We used to take all down but 3 tennis nets. And then people like, well, I came, it was a nice day and I couldn't get, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the exact answer is.
Well, we could certainly ask Chris to keep an eye on it and make sure that things are not askew if possible,
I'm sure there's a place with the new garage that we can take them in
I'm
if
sure they can
necessary.
store them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else on Zoom?
No one on Zoom.
Anyone else in the audience? John, I was thinking maybe you weren't going to come up tonight.
John Halbert, 319 Fairview Avenue, Beach Haven. I just have one question, and it just occurred to me. I believe Kitty mentioned that the Park and Recreation Committee is going to make a presentation at the next meeting. Maybe the whole discussion of the basketball and the grants could be part of that presentation to see what they're recommending to council. That's all. Thank you.
It's all in there. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, then at this time, I will open this up to final remarks by council. You wanna go first, Jane?
Well, Sure meeting. Thanks, everybody. All 4 of you for coming tonight. This school has their play tomorrow. They're showing Aladdin tomorrow night at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 1 p.m. It is free admission, but donations are of course accepted. So come, please support your local school. And also, today's the 25th. Tomorrow, January 26th, starts Restaurant Week. And it runs in Long Beach Island from January 26th to February 4th. And that's where I saw a couple of restaurants already have released different special menus and deals. I saw one and specifically in Beach Haven, I saw one from Tucker's, Buckaloo's, the Marlin, and the Black Whale. So please come and support our local restaurants, even if they don't have a special menu. There are a few that are still open and have excellent dinners and meals. And so just come out and support them.
Can I ask you a question, just to the chief? Is the Arlington open? Did they have a lot of fire damage?
They have damage,
Yeah,
They weren't open yesterday. I know.
that's too bad. Colleen?
Okay, great. Go out to support the kids and with their program, and of course, Restaurant Week. But I also would like to mention that it's been a very difficult month for our borough family. On January 4th, we lost longtime borough employee Karen Chambers. And on January 13th, we lost a member of our Public Works Department and Fire Department, Tim Nandy. So our hearts and sympathy go out to the Chambers and the Nandy family. And I also want to thank the Beach Haven Fire Department for the wonderful tribute and celebration of life that you conducted for Tim. It really was a very nice occasion. Sad, but you really did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the fire department too. It was a very good, what do you want to call it? A tribute to Tim Nandy. And I would like to thank John Halpern for his article in the paper. That's it.
Thank you. I also want to thank the fire company as always, and and Colleen, I concur with what you said, and thank you for your sentiments to the families. It has also come to my attention that Holy Innocents Episcopal Church is in need of help. Holy Innocents for years has been a Beach Haven community church. They provide a playground for the entire town for young children, a community garden that brings neighbors together in the summer. And additionally, and to me, the most importantly, Holy Innocents provides the beautiful memorial garden where my husband is buried and I will be buried one day. And so many of our Beach Haven neighbors. So the playground needs to be replaced. It's closed right now and it's expensive, as we know. And they're having a fundraiser. You can read about it in the sandpaper, but if anyone can, is in a situation where they can dig into their pockets and donate to Holy Innocents, I think, I know that they would really appreciate it. As a community, we help each other, and I hope that that we can all come together and provide some assistance for this really well-utilized playground. It's great for little kids, and it's a wonderful community. And Mother Caroline will, she's there in the office, and if you need to ask her any questions or you want any information, she would be happy to help you with that. And that's it. So just wish everyone a good night, and hopefully we'll see some sunshine sometime soon. And
Motion to adjourn?
yeah, second. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.